fabled heat, where magic meets desire. Subscribe to ignite the fantasy.
The rain had turned the world into a watercolor painting, muted greens and browns bleeding together, the air thick with the scent of wet earth and decaying leaves. The smell was overpowering, a primal reminder of the cycle of life and death that surrounded us. My boots sank into the mud as I followed him toward the woodshed, the weight of my armor a constant reminder of the storm brewing inside me. The metal creaked and groaned with each step, a symphony of leather and steel that echoed through the stillness. Behind me, the rhythmic click-whir of my own footsteps echoed, steady as a heartbeat. I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being pulled into a world that was both familiar and yet utterly alien. Why won't he leave? It wasn't just the gun. It wasn't just the way I'd torn through 4 Gorakhim officers like they were made of parchment. It was the silence. The way his golden eyes never met mine, the way his voice, when it came, was a growl that stirred something primal. He was a shadow I couldn't shake, a riddle wrapped in fur. I watched him crouch by the woodshed, claws testing the dampness of the split billets, too wet, all of it. A grunt escaped me. I hauled a fallen tree trunk toward the chopping block, roots and all, his ears flattened. No, wait, too late. I hefted it onto the stump with terrifying ease, my fingers curling around the axe handle like it was a toy. For a heartbeat, I felt his gaze on me. The raw, unthinking strength of this moment, like a storm given shape. Then I saw the blue veins in the wood. Fenko, he lunged, his tail lashing. Stop, you can't, the axe froze mid-swing. My helmet swiveled toward him, blank and unreadable. He led me inside to the cortina, the hearth nook where generations of his family's carvings watched over us. The air was thick with the scent of old wood and smoke, the flickering flames casting shadows on the walls. His was there, rough and clumsy next to others' elegant swirls. Fenko, he said, holding his carving up to the firelight. The wood glimmered, blue veins pulsing faintly. Sacred, we don't burn it. The protector watches us through it. I crouched, my reflection warping in the golden mask. For a moment I thought I wouldn't understand. Then, like a key turning in a lock, it clicked into place. The protector, the sacred wood, the carvings, it was all connected. I felt a shiver run down my spine as I realized the significance of this moment. What did it mean? What did it mean for us, for him, for me? I looked up, my eyes meeting his. The golden gaze was like a punch to the gut, leaving me breathless and wanting more. What do you want from me? I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. He didn't answer. Instead, he reached out, his fingers brushing against mine. The touch sent sparks flying, a jolt of electricity that ran through my entire body. I felt alive, like I'd been sleeping for years and had finally woken up. The world around us melted away, leaving only the two of us, suspended in a sea of uncertainty. I didn't know what the future held, but I knew one thing: I wasn't going anywhere. Not now, not ever. The fire crackled, the flames dancing in the silence. I felt his eyes on me, the weight of his gaze like a physical touch. I didn't dare look away, didn't dare break the spell that had been cast. The moment stretched out, a thread of tension that threatened to snap at any moment. And then, without warning, he spoke. You're not like the others, he said, his voice low and husky. You're not like anyone I've ever met. I felt a surge of pride, of satisfaction. I was different, and that difference was what had brought us to this moment. The moment of truth, the moment of reckoning. I leaned in, my heart pounding in my chest. What do you want from me? I asked again, my voice barely above a whisper. This time he answered. I want to know you, he said, his eyes burning with an inner fire. I want to know what makes you tick, what makes you run. I want to know your secrets, your fears, your desires. I want to know everything. The words hung in the air, a challenge, a promise, a threat. I felt my heart skip a beat, my pulse racing with anticipation. I knew that I had a choice to make, a choice that would change the course of my life forever. And I knew, without a doubt, what my answer would be. Yes, I said, my voice firm, my heart pounding in my chest. Yes, I'll let you in. Yes, I'll show you everything. The moment hung in the balance, a thread of tension that threatened to snap at any moment, and then, without warning, he smiled. The smile was like a ray of sunshine, a burst of light in a world that had been shrouded in darkness. It was a smile that said everything, a smile that promised nothing but delivered everything. I felt my heart soar, my soul take flight. I knew in that moment that I was exactly where I was meant to be, and I knew, without a doubt, that I would never be the same again.